for Social Security. I didn't have any trouble, but I had to explain why my ages were different. I was 62 and I should have been 67.
Tell me another story.
Huh?
Tell me another story about your life.
Well, I've got so many stories you wouldn't believe.
Pick one.
I don't know. Let's see. When I can't even. I got so many things going through my head, I can't even stop on one of them. I'll think of something, but I can't think of anything for sure.
What was it like going on? What was your favorite trip with Mom and Julie?
Favorite what?
Your favorite family trip with Mom and your kiddos.
Favorite family. Oh, well, that no question about that is when we Michael was going to go to high school. Yeah, Michael was going to go into high school. Oh, let's see. There was something about Michael was going. Maybe it was later than that. No. Maybe he was graduating from high school. Maybe that's what it was. He was graduating from high school, and so we decided to. By then I was working for myself, and we decided to. We bought a car. Oh, that was one thing. I hurt my back when I was on the farm. When I bought that farm that Mama was going to leave me, then I got rid of it. But I hurt my back there, and I ended up going on industrial accident. I told them I hurt it at the factory, so I went to. I drew an industrial accident while they operated on my back, and up till then we had some. We had 3 or 4 cars, older cars, and we was. I don't remember exactly how, but we were coming home. It was on the Sandy Street, the street in Portland that was sandy on the other side of the river. Anyway, we drove by and there was a red station wagon in one of the Ford garages there on Sandy. And when we drove by it, we saw it. And I said, well, gee, let's go talk to them. I can't remember what we were driving, but, I know what it was. Now, I know. When we went on the farm, I had to have a pickup. Because I had to haul all kinds of stuff. And so we had an old Chevrolet. We had a real nice Ford sedan that I had bought when I got out of the service. I had a few dollars. And so I bought this for us. I bought this car, this Ford car, and we drove it. And then when we traded for the farm, I had to have a pickup. So there was a fellow down there to work that I was working with, and he had a pickup, and he wanted to trade for a car. And so I traded him. Well, he got the best. I'll have to admit, I never was any good at trading. I always lost. I always lost. But anyway, so I ended up with this pickup. And I mean, it was a sorry thing. It really was. But it did carry all this stuff that I wanted it to carry, but it wasn't. Mama, she wouldn't even drive it. And we had it for, I don't know, for how long? 6 months or a year or even. Anyway, I was on and I had been operated on, and I had to take a 6 months off work to recover from the operation, and we were making. I mean, I was drawing about I don't know, not much, probably $50 a week or something like that, and we drove over to that garage, and I said, "How much can we drive that station wagon?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." And he let us drive it, and I come back in, and I says, "How much do you want for it?" And I mean, the prices them days weren't nothing like it is today. But I think that station wagon, and I don't remember for sure, but maybe $2,500. And I said, "Well, what did you give me for my pickup here?" And on the trade-in. And he said, "Well, I'll give you $500 for your pickup." I said, "All right, you take the pickup, and we'll take the car." And it was a brand new car, but we got in the car, and I don't remember what the deal was. Something come up as we was driving away, and I said, "Well, how come this car's got so many miles on it? It had several hundred miles on it." And we went back down there we hadn't noticed that before. And we went back down there, and they said, it's a new car and everything, but they drove that from Detroit, where they built it. They drove it to Oregon, and that's where the mileage gets on the car. But they were doing that back in those days.
Okay, that was normal.
They put them on trucks and hauled them, but they also would drive them. And well, the thing was, now I don't remember exactly how that turned out, because they were allowed to adjust the speedometer, so that didn't show. And I don't remember. There was something. But anyway, that's what happened. And but we had this beautiful red and white Ford pickup.
Riley.
Station wagon. And then we decided.
Go.
We had it probably about a year, and then I think Michael was going to get ready to graduate from high school, I think. But maybe he was starting it. I don't remember. And then we decided to take a trip to New York and see the before the family started breaking up. We were all going to get in the pickup and take off, and so we did. We got in the pickup, and we decided, well, we'll stop at every capital. Every state we come to, we'll stop at the capital and go into the capital. We did that too, and we drove all the way to and I had a tape recorder, and I tape recorded that whole trip. It's still around. Somebody's got that tape.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know where, but somebody's got it somewhere. But I caught the kids in 2 or 3 different situations that they didn't really enjoy. Julia, for some reason, she had it in her head that if a cow was black, it was a bull, and if it was white, it was a cow. And so, and then Susan, she, we were all in the park there by the Capitol building and sitting there, and we were the kids were talking, and Susan was saying something. I forget how she put it, but she was talking about colored people, and she was getting us in trouble. And I got that recorded too, and I don't remember what got on the Michaels, but we had recordings of the whole trip, but there was several, 3 or 4 things that the kids said that I recorded and had them for years. As far as I know, that should be still around.
Probably up in the attic.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Grandma told me before she passed away. She told me never to go in the attic before she passed away.
Oh,
So I've never been in the attic. You've got some
just a
secrets up
stairway
there.
You lower it down. You can get up in there. No big deal.
So that was your favorite trip with the kids, huh?
Huh?
That was your favorite trip to New York and back?
Yeah, well, we made lots of them, but that was the first big one we'd made. We worked after we got married, and after we got out of the service. After I got out of the service, we worked 3 or 4 years without taking a vacation. 2 or 3 years without taking a vacation, and so Mama says we got to take a vacation this year. And so the first vacation was, I don't remember what car we had, but this was when we were going to see the caves in, there's some big caves in Oregon. I can't think what to call
In the high desert?
Huh?
In the desert or at
No,
Sea Lions?
It's right on the main highway there, on what is I-5 now, but used to be 99. I can't think of what it was now. But we got down there, and Julia was too small. They wouldn't let us in because Julia was too small. And you can mention that to her today, and she remembers that. Because we wouldn't let her forget that. We didn't get to see the caves because she couldn't go in.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it was. It is. But no, we've made lots of trips. Lots of trips. And most of them are just trips, that's all. I would get in the car here when I went to work for people in Texas. I just got in the car and I drove to Texas. I mean, that's no trip. That's just going down or going, and you don't stop. You just drive.
Just drive. Oh, Grandpa, I love you.
But we took a lot of good vacations. Yeah, we took a lot. Generally, what we'd do was on the school. I think they still do it. Don't they have the spring break?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'd get in the car on the spring break because I was working for ourselves. I mean, nobody was anyway, and we'd head looking for the sun, and every time we'd end up in Southern California.
Yeah.
We'd just drive, and then when we had to stop, we'd stop in a motel, and then the next we'd go farther, and it'd still be raining, and we'd end up in Southern California. Every time, practically. This had happened 3 or 4 times.
That's usually where the sun is.
Huh?
That's usually where the sun is.
Yeah, well, that's where it was at.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in Oregon.
I love you, Grandpa.
Yeah, well, I love you too.